and welcome to the Pelican Sports Postgame Show with Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Krysan. 99-86, the final from Fayetteville. Jordy Hultberg, same song, different verse.
Offense was there. They had their spurts where offense was good, but here again, 99 points, second most points they've given up this season. The first being to Wake Forest. 99 points on the road, you just can't win giving up that many. Just can't.
No, Arkansas is very good at home. That was documented during the broadcast, but I'm here to tell you, you can't. You're right. 99 points, constantly beat down the floor.
Yeah.
Nobody plays help defense. Hey, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll sum it up with one statement. This team does not play defense. I don't know what else to say.
99 points, I mean, it's consistently giving up way too many points. I don't care how much offense you have. You're not going to get that many possessions. And then late in the game, they were okay, but early on, too many turnovers that would lead to uncontested buckets, and that was their downfall. 1-6 in league play now.
Only Missouri below them. Missouri got beat again today by Ole Miss, so they have not won a league game. And, of course, LSU did beat. That's their only win against Missouri. They're going to battle it out for 13th place, and that's the way it goes. So LSU goes on the road and win both road games this week. They lose to Auburn. Both games, they kind of had a little spurt in the second half. But certainly not enough, but a little bit of a spurt, which you got to play like that for 40 minutes when you're as bad as they are.
It's tough to fall behind by 15, and it takes a lot out of you to claw back to within 5 or 3 or 2. And if you can't get over that hump, and all of a sudden here comes Arkansas, they put a couple of buckets back to back, and it's all of a sudden now it's back to 7 or 9. It's the wind out of your sail. It's tough. They fought, they battled. I thought Skylar Mays was terrific. I think he had 21 points, his career high so far. But they just don't stop people. Too many times people driving uncontested through the lane. Nobody steps in to take a charge. Nobody takes a hard foul. Things like that. And then again, late in the ball game, offensive rebound after offensive rebound after offensive rebound. You're fighting the clock. You're fighting the scoreboard. You got to get possessions. And when you don't rebound the basketball, that just takes time off the clock.
Yeah, and so it, again, doesn't go well. 86 points, that's nice, but, Arkansas let them, it was still under Arkansas's tempo. They controlled the tempo of the game. They pushed it a little bit when they wanted to. They pressed a little bit. They controlled the tempo, and I don't think anybody really thought LSU would have a chance to win this game. They did cut it to 6. I want to say 91-85. It got too near the end, which is, that's 2 trips
Two possessions
down the floor.
with 3 minutes to play.
With 3 minutes. That's really anybody's game.
That's all you could ask for on the road.
Arkansas is just flat out better than LSU.
LSU has to take a new philosophy here. And that philosophy has to be this. We're not playing a 40-minute game. We're playing 4-minute games.
To the media timeout.
Win the first 4 minutes. Then we'll take a break. All right? And then we'll try to win the second 4 minutes. You just got to break it down that way. Don't look long, big picture. Increments, little bitty incremental steps.
Well, Johnny's been around forever as an assistant and a head coach in different places. He's got to pull something out of the hat. He's got to come up with something. I was hoping it would happen after the loss last week at home when we sat here last Saturday evening. But he's got to get them kids to look in the mirror and say, we will at least try to play defense against Florida next Wednesday night.
Florida lost at home to Vanderbilt, and so you know that they're going to try and bounce back in a nice way. But they're big, they're talented. I don't know what you're going to do. I just you just got to keep plugging away. But players have to play. Defense is a simple thing. Defense is just the will to play. It is the energy, the effort, and the desire. Everybody loves that orange thing in their hand. We call that the pill, man. It makes all your illnesses heal when you have that pill in your hand. It's on the other end. You got to figure out a way to get style. And that's just simply desire, effort, energy, and in the words of Les Miles, the want to.
Yeah, well, Mays had 22 points, 17 points for Reap, 14 points for Blakeney, who didn't appear to have an ankle issue.
Scoring wasn't a problem.
Yeah,
Sampson got in double figures.
Yeah, I mean, his ankle appeared to be fine.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I think it's recovered, whatever, but it just didn't work for LSU tonight. And
They're quick with the ball in their hands, but on the other end, they're two steps too slow.
Heavy feet.
Too
Just
slow.
not moving your feet. You play defense with your feet. Anyway, we appreciate you joining us here on the spring version of the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. The fall version's been around for 10 years on this station, and this year we said, hey, let's do some spring stuff. Right now it's certainly about basketball. But as we go forward, softball starts February 10th, baseball February 17th. You always got LSU recruiting. You've always got LSU spring practice is going to be very interesting this year. The gymnastics team is doing outstanding this year. So our show is designed to speak about all of it. And obviously in these first couple of weeks that we've been on, and right now, it's all about basketball, and it's nothing really to talk about. It's almost hard on us to figure out a way to sit here and, we welcome your phone calls.
What
and
else can we
messages.
say? What else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that this is a bad basketball team. I'm going to go back to a comment you've made for many, many weeks. There's not a lot of basketball players on this team.
Good athletes, but not basketball players.
And it's just
big difference.
And I don't, I was taken back a little bit after the loss to Auburn the other night. The first words out of Johnny Jones's mouth was, well, we played hard. Well, that should be a given. You're a college athlete on scholarship.
Yeah.
You're supposed to play hard every single time.
No
Are you going to play harder than other times, some days when you play 28, 29, 30 games? Yeah. But you're supposed to play hard. You're supposed to compete. You're supposed to have effort, even if the other team's 20, 30 points better than you. So I don't buy this. That almost is farcical to me when you say, well, we played hard. Well, no, you were supposed to. Don't applaud what's supposed to be a given.
That's a good point. Good point. No, I agree 100%.
Now, if you have guys diving on the board and floor and, falling in a row two trying to get a ball, maybe that's extra hard because you're trying to do something. But it's a fractured situation and no reason to believe it's going to get better.
Just look at 99 points. You cannot win giving up 99 points.
Not going to happen.
Just can't.
All right, our phone number, as you see on the screen, we appreciate you watching on Pelican Sports TV, listening on the radio, simulcast. Don't forget the TV program will be rebroadcast Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And said mid-morning Sunday, it'll be on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And you can catch a lot of our local stuff. Sports Shorts with Ronnie Rams, Tigers Roar, Postgame, a few other things too at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com will get his thoughts and analysis on the game as LSU loses, as you see on your screen, 99-86. With Jordy Hultberg, I'm Tommy Krysan. Pelican Sports Postgame Show, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at Pelican Sports TV, on the smartphones, WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Since 1986, the family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Frugier, with state-of-the-art building and technology and our highly trained staff, have been dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages. The experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Frugier to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 225-292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation because we know how to make you smile.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 800-404-0966. 800-404-0966.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan with you. We're now joined by Brian Lazar, TigerBait.com. Brian, your thoughts and observations on Arkansas 99, LSU 86?
Well, it was a night where guys wanted to pad their offensive stats. It was pretty easy to do so because I don't think either team played too much defense. LSU shot poorly to start the game, but they ended up shooting over 50% because they shot 67% in the second half.
Yep.
Arkansas shot well all night. And, look, it wasn't a whole lot of defense played. LSU made their runs every now and then, but, they would cut, a 15-point lead down to 6. But whenever you have to make a stop and to keep things going, LSU couldn't do it. And, you just watch Arkansas's guys, they could take any LSU defender off the dribble to the rim whenever they wanted to. That's the case. Kingsley has a big night. He's not really had a good season.
No.
And, he, season high 24 tonight for him. So LSU, fifth time in the last 8 games, they've given up at least 90.
Yeah.
And the other 3 games, they've given up 77, 78, and 81. So that's beginning with the Wake Forest game, since they've played all power conference teams. LSU, can't stop anybody.
Arkansas, 53% from the field, 50% from behind the three-point line. LSU, 15 of 30 from the free throw line, 50%. All right, let's look ahead here, because I think this is inevitable. My question is, what do you think Joe Oliva is looking for in a basketball coach? And everybody's saying, okay, well, are you going to spend the money to get a high-quality coach if and when it gets to that, or is he going to go to a lesser-known, mid-major type of coach and pay him again on the lower-end scale because of what he has to pay for football?
Well, first of all, he's saving some money in football. We have to hire an Ed Ogeron instead of, say, either Jimbo Fisher or Tom Herman. So he's saving some money there.
Okay.
But Jordy, I'm going to throw 3 names out. And not that these are the 3 top candidates, but these are the 3 styles of coaches that you can go after.
Okay.
Spend a lot of money and hire Archie Miller at Dayton.
Okay.
Hire an experienced coach who is having success where you don't really have to spend a whole lot of money, like a Kermit Davis.
Okay.
Or go look that young, up-and-coming 35, 36, 37-year-old who's you look at and say, man, I think this guy's got a chance to be a special coach, like Matt McCall at Chattanooga.
Okay.
Now, you can go in one of those 3 directions. Now, in which of those three directions are you going to go? Well, first of all, to go in direction number one, to get a guy who's having some success, at a program who's a little bit higher than LSU, and I call Dayton's basketball program, better than LSU's
no question.
basketball program. And
no question.
I would say all those Big East schools, whether it's Dayton, Butler, Creighton, I'd say all of those schools have better basketball situations than LSU.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to spend money to try to get those guys, that type of guy. When I'm talking about money, I'm talking about upwards of $2 million.
Right.
So is LSU willing to do that? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if they're willing to do that.
I look at who the decision makers are, and you're dealing with Joe Oliva. We know his ties with Duke University. Eddie Nunez is kind of the basketball associate athletic director. He's got ties to Florida with Billy Donovan. I'm trying to dot the I's, cross the T's, and see where the vines all meet between those two, because I'm sure they've got some people in mind that they're thinking of.
Well, you got Capel, who's the interim head coach right now at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
While Krzyzewski's out, and he didn't have success at Oklahoma. That's a possibility. Matt McCall, the coach of Chattanooga, is a Donovan guy.
Yes.
That's where he coached. He came up at Florida. In fact, he was hired at Florida when Eddie Nunez was still over in Gainesville. So I know Eddie knows him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a guy that's got a link. So I don't. Jordy, if you'd ask me, this is what I would do. I would sit down first with the administration, and I'm talking about F. King Alexander, and say, okay, how much money do we want to spend? And if we can go and spend a lot of money, well, then I'd throw out feelers to some of these Big East coaches.
Okay.
The guy Mack at Xavier or Archie Miller at Dayton.
Yeah.
And see Mick Cronin at Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
See, okay, you guys, you're willing to come to LSU for, $2.3 million a year? And if you can get one of those guys, that's who I would go after. Now, if you don't have the budget to do that, I would go young than getting that, 55-year-old, 50-year-old guy that's had some success. I would go young.
Okay.
Because I just think you have to try to get some enthusiasm into the program. And, you got to have a young guy who's hungry.
Right.
Brian, I agree with your kind of three levels you laid out there, but I think if they win in the middle level, subconsciously that's a message to the fans like, hey, we're just going to tread water here. They either got to go for...
It's the safe hire.
Yeah, they either got to go for somebody they're going to pay 2, 3, 2.5, or if it's a huge name, a little more than that, or get somebody that'll work for 1.5 or 1.6, 1.7. Like you said, Brian, a young guy, identify somebody out there who's on the way up the ladder. I mean, when they hired John Brady, he was a young guy on the way up the ladder. He ended up in the Final Four after, X amount of years. So I don't think they can go that middle route. The fans will be like, man, why didn't you go get a big name? You didn't go get a young guy who we think can be in here for 10 years and do something. So I think it's important the way they go about it.
No question.
Is very important. Of course, the ultimate importance is who do they get and can they be successful. But how they go about it, especially after we've seen what we saw with the football coach in November of 2015, what we saw with football coach, there's still people out there that aren't happy that Orgeron's the coach.
Absolutely.
That, hey, I talked to a guy at Hooters in Denham Springs the other day, a group of guys before I started a radio show. One guy said, I don't think Orgeron's the guy. I don't think he's going to do it. The guy said, I want him to do it. I want LSU to win. I don't agree with the selection. It's like they settled for him.
Perception
and he's
is everything.
I asked him. He's a season ticket holder, been a season ticket holder for a long time. And, and that was his opinion just yesterday when I was visiting with him about it. And then I said, I think my answer to people is if Orgeron is not successful, it won't be because he didn't try. I mean, he is going to try everything he can to be successful. So I think how they go about this, and there are people who are critical of Joe Oliva, how this thing transpires and unfolds and what steps are taken will be the first message. The second message will be who stands behind the microphone as the new coach.
Well, look, let's look at the football. Go shoot big for money. that was Jimbo Fisher.
Yep.
Up-and-coming young guy, that was Tom Herman.
Right.
The safe hire, that turned out to be Ed Ogeron.
Right.
If it wasn't going to be Ed Ogeron, it was going to be Larry Fedora, that middle. So your final three candidates in football were one in each of those three types.
That's a good point. Yep.
And you spent, and you couldn't get the money to get Fisher, or Fisher wasn't ready to come. So you go to Herman, and look, you're going to lose. Everybody knew LSU was going to lose Herman to Texas. If Texas opened up, LSU wasn't getting him, and that's just what happened. So you were down to your safe choice because you didn't have other options. There was no other big-name coach other than Fisher that would come to LSU. There is no other young, up-and-coming coach that was available at this time besides Herman. It could have been a Justin Fuente, but I don't think Fuente was going to leave Virginia Tech after one season. So,
well, let's look at the hire that Vanderbilt made in basketball with Bryce Drew. Coached at Valpo, did well there. That's a mid-major school that places an emphasis on basketball, and I think he's going to do very well at Vandy. They just beat Florida on the road today, so maybe that's the direction you go. But it all stems from where are Joe Oliva and Eddie Nunez's, where are their connections, where are their ties, who do they know? And Joe's been in charge of on the basketball selection committee and for years now, so I'm sure he's got a pretty good web that he can go to.
Yeah, and look, I know this, that last year, the guy at Chattanooga, Matt McCall, he was one of the finalists at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt went to Bryce Drew because Bryce Drew had 4 years of experience at Valpo, where McCall only had 1 year experience as the head coach at Chattanooga, so they went with the older guy. Well, McCall's going to have a second year under his belt now, and Chattanooga's doing well so far this year. So, that's why I think somebody like that who's got a connection to Donovan is going to be a serious candidate. But we're just going to have to, wait and see. Look, I don't think there's going to be any mid-season dismissal. LSU, they're playing hard.
Yep.
They both Auburn and then again tonight, they get behind 15 midway or in the second half, and they come back and make the game, somewhat close. So they're still playing hard. They're just not good enough this year. I wrote a piece for the site yesterday. Johnny, there's two things about his tenure at LSU. He signed three outstanding players: Jarrell Martin, Jordan Mickey, and Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that none of those guys were going to be there very long. They went. You knew Martin and Mickey were going to last for 2 years. They did, and you knew Simmons was going to last for one. Well, when you have guys like that, you'd better cash in on them, and they didn't cash in. One NCAA tournament appearance in those guys' 3 years, and it was a loss. So now, when you don't have that type of player on your roster and your talent's weaker, the losses are going to pile up, and the roster's not good right now. There are no seniors on. Tim Quarterman, you'd probably expect to be a senior. He left.
He just got called back up by the Trailblazers.
Juniors are Patterson, Epps, and Robinson, and those three guys. None of those guys are really legit starters in the SEC.
Can't play. Yeah.
So if Johnny, the year that they lost to NC State, if that team would have made the Sweet 16, and if last year's team with Ben Simmons would have made the NCAA tournament, Johnny he'd be safe right now. But he didn't take advantage of the roster when he had real good players.
Well said.
All right. Well, Brian, we appreciate you joining us. Before you get out of here, tell all the viewers and the listeners what's happening at TigerBait.com.
www.tigerbait.com. Obviously coverage of the basketball team and certainly the latest in football recruiting as we're getting down to the final 10 days before National Signing Day.
You're the best, Brian. Thank you, buddy, for joining us this late in the evening.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. That's Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com.
Speaking of football recruiting, I had my buddy Mike Detillier on. He said that he's good buddies with Ed Ogeron, and he said
very
he
close.
said told him we're going to finish top 3 in the country in recruiting
Top
before it's
three.
all said and done.
Well, I tell you
We're
what.
going to finish top 3. We'll see.
This weekend, today, or late last night, this Racing McGrath, wide receiver from Edna Carr, made the commitment to LSU. When I had Ken Trahan of SportsNola.com on my show, he's on with me every Thursday at 3:45. I asked him about McGrath, and he said McMath.
Yeah.
I asked him about it because Ken's seen him play 4 or 5 times this year and last year combined. He said he thinks that guy is very, very good and has a chance to be exceptional.
And it's funny because it's all subjective. The kid's a 3-star prospect. How
But he's 6'2".
All right,
He can run.
Ken's seen a lot of good players.
I trust Ken Trahan's judgment of high school athletes to the utmost. And he said he's one of those guys who lopes as he runs. It doesn't look like he's going fast, but he really is. And he can really turn it on. So, again, that's just his opinion, and I respect his opinion because he's watched prep football in New Orleans for 40-plus years now, and he's got a lot of data to make a comment.
But here they've got they got a bunch of linebackers in this weekend. So
the kid from Nashville, Phillips.
Phillips, who's the Oklahoma commit. They've got the kid that lives in Starkville. Now I've lost track of his name, and they got another one in. So. Hopefully they'll get a couple of linebackers. That's what they need.
Well, Orgeron's
Willie Gay.
Orgeron's always positive. It does not surprise me.
He's a closer.
That he told Mike Detillier that he expects to finish in the top 3. And if he gets the right names on the dotted line, he could well do that.
Well, didn't he get the kid in the movie? He was a coach at Ole Miss. Didn't he get him? Blindside?
Yeah.
Michael Orr?
Sandra Bullock, your boy. Your partner Sean Toohey.
He beat out Saban. He beat out Fulmer. He beat out everybody. So maybe
your partner Sean Toohey.
Maybe he can close the deal. My boy Sean. That's right.
He's a year younger than you.
He's got a lot more Kentucky Fried Chickens and
Taco Bells.
Taco
He's
Bells.
He's got 70 Taco Bells.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's up in Memphis
he's doing all right.
Doing well. He did radio for Ole Miss for a while.
He did.
Newman High School in New
When
Orleans.
I was doing the Hornets, he was doing the Grizzlies.
Was he?
The Grizzlies, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've crossed paths many a time.
Sandra Bullock.
We beat his butt. He was at Newman High.
He's a year behind you.
Yeah, we beat him.
He's my age. Yeah, he's a year behind you. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. We realize it's late on a Saturday. We do have it replaying Sunday morning.
Where's my pillow?
9 and 10.
Where's that pillow?
And it's on the radio right now. If you'd like to give us a call, 225-928-4910. Text message line, area code 504-689-9246. Next week, 3 p.m. We're in here at 3 p.m. next week.
You do this during football season. Notice the difference between football and basketball? Football fans will call up after a loss because they're angry. Basketball, the
other thing, you got
90+
thousand at the football game, and you got 3,000 at the basketball game. It's a numbers game. Yep. But anyway, and when we come back, we're going to tell you about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Mike and the gang over there. That's up.
Crawfish? Did you get some?
I meant to go Thursday.
You promised me.
I was going to go today, late afternoon.
You're just a busy man.
Oh, today I wasn't busy. I was relaxing.
You got lazy.
Today.
You got lazy.
No, I had to do single guy stuff. Wash clothes and clean up a little bit, and I didn't get over there. But don't worry. I know crawfish season's got another 4 or 5 months for sure, and I will eat my share. I can assure you.
I knew it. I told them you were coming. I told them. I knew it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Chrysan, give us a call. Shoot us a text. We'll continue right after this pause on the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. Internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Radio, CBS Sports
99
Radio,
points.
9:10 a.m. We're back after this pause. Stay with us.
99.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations. Postgame show. Lines are open. Text messaging. Arkansas 99, LSU 86 in Fayetteville. Tigers will return home late tonight. Probably won't be a crowd at the airport. And they'll be at home next Wednesday.
That's terrible.
That was bad.
Why you got to say that,
staff,
man?
huh?
Why you got to do that?
Next Wednesday, home against the Florida Gators. And we're going to do an SEC scoreboard in a minute. First, couple other things. Gymnastics moves to 3-0 on the season with a convincing win Friday night in the PMAC against Texas Women's University.
The Pioneers.
From Denton, Texas.
I remember that, the Pioneers. That score is like an 80-0 football game.
It was a.
Oh, you had to say.
It was a.
DD.
Done.
DD's scheduling some gimmies.
Yeah. Beth Torina's softball team, they began play a week before LSU baseball. They start February 10th. Got a tournament out at Tiger Park. Baseball starts the 17th. Got the Air Force Academy Friday, Army Saturday, Air Force Sunday. Had a nice piece by Luke Johnson in the Advocate newspaper this weekend. Coach Maneri talking about last summer, some people from the University of Texas came to his home.
So like they did to Saban, right?
Yeah, they came to his home. There was a bunch of discussion. He said they really didn't make an offer and say here's a number. All he said was it'd be a healthy thing and talk to him about his interests, whatnot. And he asked him if he could sleep on it. And then he can't next day decided he didn't want to be anywhere but LSU. Mm-hmm. He said it was nice to feel wanted.
But didn't he go tell Joe Oliva that this is what they've come and they've offered? And I think
according to the article, there was no numbers.
No, but I'm just saying, I think because of that, he got some new things, a new weight room involved.
No. If you let me finish.
I'm just telling you what he told me.
All right, so then he decided he wanted to be at LSU and went to Joe Oliva. And Joe Oliva knew he was speaking to Texas, and they put a whole new video department in, and he got some raises for the staff, all built in, and a very nice raise for himself. Couldn't be happier.
Nice
he said when he came to Baton Rouge, he thought it would be his last stop, and that, now it will be, as he's got the nice new contract. So, good deal there. There we go. We got the magic behind us. You see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. No, that's
What was
okay.
it? What was before that?
It wasn't.
It was
being
blank?
Magic. Yeah, it was. Well, it had like.
Well, that's Marty's job.
We had the instructions. So Marty had to read the instructions. So anyway, as we get a little closer to that in the springtime here on the Spring Postgame Show, we'll do stuff with that going forward and keeping you posted. Jordy, around the SEC today, Missouri got beat. I do know that, which means LSU's not
I'm going to have to put my glasses on.
That's good. Hey, all of them. Everybody's got the glasses.
A battle of unbeatens. At Rupp Arena, Kentucky beats South Carolina 85-69. Malik Monk goes off. De'Aaron Fox, their superb point guard, hurt. Only played about 7 or 8 minutes. The health of him will dictate how far Kentucky goes in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Kentucky's the cream of the crop in the SEC. There's no question about that.
A&M edges out Georgia 63-62.
I hear there was a big problem at the end of that game.
Didn't see it.
With a video replay or something. And one thing I read real quick was that the officials, it was determined that they got it correct. But it was a big controversy. I'm going to have to dig into the details.
I'll have to look.
And Denham Springs native Mark Whitehead, who officiated I was in college with Mark, and we'd all go out to the Brown Door to drink beer, and he'd go ref a high school game. Okay, and he's now the coordinator for the Southeastern Conference, the American Conference, and Atlantic Sun. Worked 5 Final Fours, 1 championship game. He had Kentucky when they won it in New Orleans with Anthony Davis. He's now the coordinator official, so he's a busy guy. I was talking to him the other day. He said every Sunday it doesn't stop. Every coach has got this.
Everybody's calling him saying
all the losing teams. Yeah. But so anyway, I will. If you're interested in that, of course, A&M's coached by New Orleans native Billy Kennedy, Holy Cross Southeastern guy. So I got to get the info on that. I read it real quick as we were getting ready to prep the show here, so I don't want to give you misleading details.
Ole Miss on the road beats Missouri. Missouri's still winless in the league, 75-71. Auburn with a big 20-point win, 84-64 over Alabama.
That was all in the second half. That was a close game at halftime. Of course, it's Auburn, Alabama. They go nuts about
Bruce
that.
Pearl
over
gets
there.
a pay raise now.
Yeah,
he beat Alabama.
Extension, and there was a big surge in the second half that got Auburn that win.
Mississippi State was 3-1. Now they've lost 2 in a row. This time they get blown out by Tennessee 91-74. And Arkansas again beats LSU 99-86. LSU has Florida in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center next Wednesday night.
Yeah, and of course next Saturday we'll be here at 3 o'clock with the post-game show. So
who do they play Saturday? I can't remember now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. That's okay. That's okay.
No. Hey, I should have this information in front of me. I don't, but I will. The beauty of computers these days, you know how it goes. Well, let's see. Next Saturday would be
January 20th.
They're on the road. That's the SEC Big 12 Challenge. They will be in Lubbock against Texas Tech. A 1 o'clock tip. We'll be on there 3 o'clock following that one next Saturday.
I can't name who the coach at Texas Tech is now.
Bobby Knight. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go to
it's
Carl.
Not Pat Knight either.
Carl the Cat. Carl, good evening. How are you?
Hey, guys, how are you?
What are you doing, man?
Carl sent me a message today. Said, TK, I'm calling the show tonight. Voila.
Second verse, same as Carl, can you play defense?
I think I can.
I mean, you got 5 fouls to give, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Start giving them.
Carl would use all 5.
Yeah. All right, what do you think? 99-86.
99 points, that's lovely.
Sums it up.
Yep, change the subject right quick on that Georgia game. It was a clock issue. The clock stopped at like 5 seconds.
Was Les Miles in attendance? Oh, that's a shot. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So that's what it was, a clock issue, but it was determined that the refs got it right. The officials got it right.
Yeah, it completely stopped at 5 seconds, and
so it like froze and was supposed to be running.
Yeah, it completely froze at 5 seconds.
Okay.
They determined that the time was going to run out anyway. So.
Well, I appreciate your clarification, Carl.
I don't know what I mean.
What else can you say?
It's tough.
What else can we say, right?
Yeah, I mean, Scott Mays, did a good job tonight. I mean,
Is that a career high, 22 points?
Yeah.
There's some guys that plays hard and stuff, but they can't play a lick of defense right now.
No.
Zero defense. Isn't that, I mean, it's very, very, very poor.
They'll play it in small incremental spurts, but not nearly long enough to affect a ball game.
Can they play running time when they play Kentucky?
Can we keep them in 25?
All right, Carl. Well, we certainly appreciate you calling.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Let's go back to the phone lines. Timmy in Baton Rouge. Timmy, hello. You're on the Postgame show.
Good evening, gentlemen. Jordy, I got a question
Okay.
for you as a former player.
Okay.
With Johnny being a former player also doesn't necessarily make him a coach.
Correct.
He was just a mediocre player at that. And I'm just wondering how long is Oliva and the foundation going to continue and let this program deteriorate to the point of being at the bottom of the barrel in the SEC?
Yeah. Hopefully not long.
Up and listen.
Tim, thank you for the phone call. That's if I were an athletic director, I'd want all my programs to be at the very best they can. And for that to be the case, you got to find the right person to run that program. And that person has to be energetic. He's got to assemble a really good staff. He's got to be able to go get players. He's got to go able to develop those players and put the best product on the court, on the field, in the swimming pool, whatever it may be. So that's up to Mr. Oliva and his bosses to determine, all right, what's the dollar figure that you're going to be able to spend? All right, and under those parameters, you get the best person that will come for that dollar amount.
And I think with the situation as it exists, and we sit here in the latter part of January, I might be speaking out of line here, but I think he knows he's going to make a change when the season concludes. So there are things he can begin doing now, like meet with F. King Alexander, say, okay, what's our range here? What kind of money are we talking about?
What is our commitment?
We owe Johnny Jones $3 million to walk out the door.
They made a commitment to basketball. They built that practice facility. They've done a lot of things. They've improved the general look of the Assembly Center.
A lot.
They've done all those things. So it would lend to me to believe that they want to get the best coach that they can to get into this program. Look, State hired Ben Howland. Maybe not a good fit, but the resume and the skins on the wall, three in a row. Rick Barnes may not be the best fit, but how many consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament did he make? 20-something. Yeah. Okay. Avery Johnson gets, great player, coaches in the NBA, takes his team to the final. So they have made the concerted effort to try to get basketball not maybe at the level of football, but not far below it.
Right.
Not far below it. And so that's what I think LSU has to do.
Yeah, and I don't think LSU's going to make the SEC tournament, which is in Nashville this year. So
who are they going to beat?
Nobody. Missouri. And Missouri ain't going to make it. LSU and Missouri are going to fight for 13th place, and I got LSU. I'll give you a hint. They'll finish 13th. Missouri will finish 14th.
I just don't see maybe a win, maybe two at the very, very most.
I mean, it's not impossible if they shoot the lights out one night and the other team has a poor night. There's teams they can beat.
What does Bill Parcells say?
You are what your record says you are. And right now, they're not good.
Look, they score a lot of points. They got 86. They shot pretty well.
Shot okay, not from the free throw line. In fact, when they cut it to 6, they missed 4 free throws in a row down the stretch. You can't have that.
50% from the line, but other than that, they shot pretty good.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to remind you about the radio station. You may be listening on the old smartphone now. We're going to tell you all about it and what you get there. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Kreisand, Pelican Sports Post-Game Show on TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. It's on Pelican Sports TV, the internet, the smartphones, WUBR. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina.
Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment. 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
Since 1986, the family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Frugier, with state-of-the-art building and technology, and our highly trained staff, have been dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages. The experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Frugier to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 225-292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation because we know how to make you smile.
Continue with the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Arkansas beats LSU up in Fayetteville 99-86. Tigers now at only one win in league play. They'll be home Wednesday night against the Florida Gators. Next Saturday they're on the road, 1 o'clock. Texas Tech, the old SEC
the Red
Big
Raiders.
12 challenge. So I think Kansas is playing Kentucky.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's going to get more viewers?
Kansas and Kentucky. I think more will watch that than, and I don't know anything about Texas Tech.
They're terrible. That's a long way to Lubbock.
That's
a long trip.
I've been to the Lubbock airport. That's it.
That's a long trip.
I didn't get out the plane, but we had a few.
Thank goodness they're flying.
Back in the day, Southeastern football played in California, outside of Oakland. We flew into Lubbock.
What are y'all doing playing out of Oakland? Who'd y'all play against?
St. Mary's College,
Oh, my.
Concord, California, Moraga, California, right outside of Oakland.
Jeez.
We stayed in Oakland.
That's awful.
But the charter flight, we had to stop in Lubbock and get more fuel and then get on our way on out there. I tell you where you need to stop, no matter where you're going. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Tell us all about it.
12451 Old Jefferson Highway. You can see everything that they've got at their website, tremontis.com. They're closed on Sunday, but they'll be open bright and early, 9 a.m. Monday morning, ready for you. You can call them at 751-7665. We've got boiled crawfish each and every day. Starting around 4 o'clock, you can come pick it up. If you want to do it yourself, call them, 751-7665. Get it by the sack, whatever you want. They'll accommodate you. They've got catering ideas for everyone. They've got spirits and elixirs of the highest quality. Great wine selection as well. Every day they're going to have rotisserie chickens. All you have to do is drive up, get it, bring it home, carve it up, and you're good to go. Trying to make your life simpler, easier, and better, because we know everybody's working. Kids have extracurricular activities. Tremonti's can take all that angst out of your mind. Dinner every night, it's on them. They'll get you covered. Tremontis.com for all the information.
All right, there you have it. Go check them out. Get you some crawfish. I'm so glad crawfish season's here, and I'm overdue for a trip to Tremonti's.
Well, yeah.
I tried to get there twice this week and didn't get there.
Try. Well, what?
I was busy. Don't you get busy sometimes?
Never that busy. Always make time. Always make time.
All right, next week, one
No,
of them days.
No, you won't. You're always busy.
All right, I tell you what, I'll shut up.
Remember what Steve Spurrier said, it's not how hard you work, it's how smart you work.
I'm going to shut up about it, and then when I speak, I'm going to say, Jordy, I went to Tremonti's yesterday or the day before.
It's not how hard you work, it's how smart you work.
Football recruiting, working really hard, pushing towards that February the 1st signing day. Getting a McMath, the receiver out of Edna-Carr in New Orleans, verbal commitment, very, very good. Big weekend that we're in the middle of with all the visits on campus. Got some official visits, got some unofficial visits, and all the schools are pouring the coals to the fire now, and Ed Orgeron and LSU no different.
McMath makes 20 commitments. I'm hearing anywhere from 25 to 28 that they're going to try and sign.
You always get one or two that doesn't work out.
And look, it always comes that day that you think but you always think you've got this commitment that all of a sudden at the last minute they decide, I'm not so sure I want to go somewhere else. Every one of the recruiting analysts I've talked to feel very, very strong that the 20 commitments they have, which includes 6 that are already on campus, so that would be 14 that have yet to sign on the dotted line, they feel very confident that they're going to honor those commitments and stay with LSU. So got to get linebackers, got to get some more guys up front on the defensive line. McMath makes one wide receiver. I know they want another one. I know they want another running back. So we'll see. We'll see where it all goes.
Well, speaking about recruiting, and it's an annual event in Baton Rouge. It's a big event.
Yes, it is.
22nd annual, the Tiger Gridiron Club recruiting bash on the National Football Signing Day, which obviously is Wednesday, February the 1st. They're heading back downtown to the Bella Baton Rouge Hotel Atrium. It was there many, many years ago. The Tiger Gridiron Club Bayou Bash. Doors open at 8:30, registration at 10:30. Coach Orgeron expected to meet with the crowd at approximately 5:30. They have plenty of VIP tables for 10 that are available. And if you don't have 10, they'll put you at a table and throw a couple other Tiger fans at a table with you. If you're 1, 2, 3 people, they'll try to get you at a table that's not full. You just call Tom Bro at the number on your screen, 225-806-2884, and he will work that out for you. 22nd annual Tiger Gridiron Club Bayou Bash. Buddy Sanji will broadcast live from 1 to 3. I'll follow him from 3 to 5 with the very latest from the bash. And again, Coach Ed Orgeron is scheduled to get in there at about 5:30. They'll have the Tiger Marching Band, the Golden Girls, the regular deal. 22 years going strong from the Tiger Gridiron Club. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on things here on this week's edition of the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com, and WUBR, CBS Sports Radio, Baton Rouge, 9:10 a.m. on the radio dial, the TuneIn app, or it's free. Search WUBR. Stay with us. Perkins Road Veterinary Hospital is a full-service veterinary hospital committed to your pet's health. We offer advanced diagnostic and therapeutic medical services, laser surgery, dog and cat diets, and treats, along with stress-free boarding. Dr. Ritchie sees patients for routine checkups to keep your loved ones happy, also advanced medical and surgical cases. We have separate condos for cat boarding and large climate-controlled canine boarding. Our boarding dogs get to have fun in a very large play yard several times a day. Laser therapy is a service that we offer to heal wounds and help our patients that suffer from chronic pain. Laser therapy is a wonderful adjunct treatment for neurologic and arthritic pain with no side effects. Your pets are family members and deserve the best and highest quality of care. Dr. Ritchie and his staff greatly respect the human-animal bond and are committed to exceeding your expectations.
My name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Here at Rejuva-Me Medical, we strive to accomplish a more youthful you. We specialize in the most advanced techniques of testosterone replacement therapy in men, bioidentical hormone replacement in women, IV therapy, and nutritional support, along with the state-of-the-art cosmetics procedures. Experience a network of trainers and health coaches offering diet and nutritional plans tailored to you. Call us today to schedule your free consultation to discuss your individual needs and goals. Look like you live younger.
Remind you about the radio station, CBS Sports Radio, WUBR in Baton Rouge, 910 on the old-fashioned radio dial. Home to the Jim Rome Show, Monday through Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get the TuneIn app, search WUBR, mark it as a favorite, and you got CBS Sports Radio, the local lineup, Jordy in the mornings, Buddy Sanji, myself, Fridays finds Dave Scandaliato. On the weekends, Carlos Brown, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Through the night, Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio. And coming this spring, we'll have select Houston Astros baseball games. Major League Baseball, second year in a row on WUBR. Jordy wrapping things up. Tigers lose 99-86. Trailed by 10 at halftime, 47-37. Got out-rebounded, got outshot. Just not, no defense. Skylar Mays with a career-high 22 points, but it's not enough as a middle-of-the-pack Arkansas team, beats LSU by 13.
I don't think anybody expected LSU to win at Bud Walton Arena. LSU's had really, really good teams that go there and haven't won. I'm going to be the glass-half-full guy and talk about some of the positives. One, normally when a season starts to disintegrate, you see players start to do things of an individual nature. I'm going to get mine now. Yeah. I'm going to see what I can do. That's not the case. They're playing hard. They're playing as a team. They just don't have the talent as basketball players to figure out a way to win games. They just don't have that.
And the SEC is not a basketball power. You got Kentucky.
Yeah. They still have good athletes.
South Carolina pretty good. Florida pretty good. A couple other teams decent, but they're not going to they're certainly not going to get 5 teams in the NCAA.
4 teams right now, 4.
3 or 4 going to get in the NCAA tournament, a handful in the NIT perhaps. So, LSU's just got a ways to go. And in all likelihood, there's a coaching change once the season concludes.
The thing that separates those basketball programs apart, they get a Ben Simmons every year. Year after year, plus another or 2 more.
Tim Quarterman.
Plus 2 more. Yeah. So they get that all the time. So that's the difference. LSU got Ben Simmons. It didn't work out for him. There's a deep drop in talent without Hornsby, without Quarterman. You got to keep finding players, and that's the key.
All right. Appreciate you being here with us on a Saturday evening. Don't forget Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., a rebroadcast of the 1-hour television version of this program. As always, follow us on Facebook. Facebook page is Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account at Pelican Sports. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You can catch a lot of the programming and watch it at your convenience in its entirety, in HD, the whole bit. So appreciate you being a part of it. The phone calls tonight, it's all good. 3 o'clock next Saturday for the post-game show. Catch all the guys on the radio during the week. Jordy, thanks so much.
We're 0 for 3.
Appreciate the folks on the crew for getting this show done.
Good night, everybody.
We'll talk to you again soon.